Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into Bob Burg's modern classic, The Art of Persuasion. It's an incredible guide to winning people over, not by being forceful, but by creating a genuine, authentic connection.
You ever find yourself wishing there was a way to really connect with someone so that they don't just hear you, but they actually get on board with your idea and are excited to work with you?
Well, here's the good news. There absolutely is. And it has nothing to do with manipulation or trying to win an argument. True persuasion is all about creating a situation where everyone walks away feeling like they got something valuable out of it.
All right, so how do we actually do that? We're going to walk through 6 key ideas. First, we're going to completely rethink what persuasion even is. Then, we'll get into the golden rule of influence, the power of listening, how to speak someone's language, what to do when you hit resistance, and finally, how to make this stuff a part of your daily life. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first, and this one is a biggie. We have to totally reframe what the word persuasion means in our heads. Because honestly, most of us have been thinking about it all wrong. Just look at this comparison. It really tells the whole story, doesn't it? The old way of thinking about persuasion is like a battle. It's about force, manipulation, and making sure you win. But authentic influence, it just flips the script. It's all about connection, being sincere, and adding value to build trust. It's a massive shift from trying to win a fight to trying to build a partnership.
And that whole idea of partnership brings us right to the bedrock of all influence. Berg calls it the golden rule, and it's his super simple 3-part process that everything else is built on. So here's the thing that so many of us miss. You don't start with trust. Trust is what you earn at the end of the process. You can't just jump to the end. First, people have to get to know you. Then, they have to actually like you. And only after those 2 things happen can they really begin to trust you. It's a sequence, and you can't skip the steps.
So where does this all begin? Well, it starts with a really simple but incredibly powerful shift inside your own head. Before you walk into a meeting, before you make a call, you just have to consciously change the question from what can I get out of this to what can I give in this situation. That one little change completely transforms the energy of the entire interaction.
And that's why this quote is so perfect. Trust is your strongest currency. Think about it, right? Money comes and goes, but trust? That's an investment that grows with every single honest and thoughtful interaction you have. It literally compounds over time and becomes your most valuable asset.
Okay, so if trust is the ultimate goal, how in the world do we actually build it? Well, that leads us straight to what might just be the most underrated, most powerful communication skill there is.
I love this quote. Listen like your future depends on it, because it does. Berg's whole point is that in a world where pretty much everyone is just waiting for their turn to talk, the person who genuinely listens, that person has all the power. See, most of us listen to reply. The goal is to listen to understand. That's a whole different ballgame.
And we're not just talking about nodding your head. We're talking about real active listening. Making eye contact so they know you're with them, resisting that urge to interrupt and just letting them finish. And then, this is the magic part, saying something like, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is, to show you are actually paying attention. When you do that, you give someone the rare gift of feeling truly heard.
All right, so once you've done the hard work of really listening and you get where they're coming from, what's next? Well, now it's your turn to speak, but you have to do it in a way that connects with their world, not just your own. This table is such a perfect example. It's all about translation. So instead of saying, my product is the best, which is all about you, you flip it. You say, this product will make your life easier, which is all about them. Instead of, I need you to do this, you explain, here's the benefit you'll get if you do this. It's such a small shift in wording, but it makes a massive difference because the focus is always on them.
Okay, but let's be real. What happens when someone says no or they push back on your idea? This is the moment, right? This is where most conversations go off the rails.
When someone pushes back, our first instinct is to argue, right? To defend our position. But the real pro move is to get curious. Instead of making it you versus me, you frame it as us versus the problem. Instead of trying to win the argument, you try to understand where they're coming from. It changes everything.
And this is where your calm becomes your superpower. Seriously, your ability to stay cool and respectful, especially when things get a little tense, is what makes you a leader. You actually control the tone of the whole interaction. It's amazing how people will almost always mirror your energy.
So, we've talked about all these powerful skills, but here's the catch. They don't really work if you just pull them out like a tool when you need them. They have to become a real, genuine part of who you are. So let's talk about how to make this stuff a habit.
You see, real influence isn't a switch you can just flip on for a big meeting and then turn off. It's a lifestyle. It's built in all the small, consistent, everyday things you do. That's how people learn that they can really count on you.
And you don't have to overhaul your whole life overnight. It starts with small things. For instance, what if you just started your day by asking, "Who can I help today?" Or, for just one conversation, make it your mission to listen without interrupting. Or find one chance to thank someone for their work without asking for anything in return. Even one of these little habits will compound over time in ways you can't even imagine.
Because at the end of the day, this is what it all boils down to. Your influence isn't measured by how clever your arguments were. It's measured by how you made the other person feel. Did they feel seen, valued, and respected? That's the real test.
So that's really the big challenge from this book. The road to real, lasting influence doesn't start with you talking more. It starts with you listening better. As you go about your day, I'll just leave you with this question. Who are you going to make feel truly heard today? Thanks for watching The Explainer.